So I started it. I've always loved to write, but it was more of a secret hobby. Like, I was always quite embarrassed that I wrote, because it's something quite personal, writing. And I got to the point where I thought, well, I don't want to be embarrassed anymore. It's a great skill. It's really good to be able to put words down on a paper and have people read them. So I had done events previously, and I went to a writing group, and the person who organised it didn't show up, so that was a bit of a loss. I come to the old library in Porth. It's such a lovely cafe to be in, and I mentioned to the owner, oh, how would you feel about me starting a writing group? And she was like, oh, that'd be brilliant, yeah, let's go for it. And I thought, okay, gotta do it now. And for me, I needed to start it because it's such a personal thing, but until you start sharing it, you kind of can't show your enthusiasm, and I needed the help to improve my craft. I don't more shy now. So on the first day, Phil, dros that turned up. Vicky, who I'd met in the failed writing group, turned up, and I think it was Norman came as well. I can't remember who else. It was just an Erin came, yeah. So it was a nice turnout the first time. We all I asked 3 questions. So, what do you write, how do you write, and why do you write? So it got us talking instantly. We all kind of got a feel for each other and why it was important to have a group where you could come and talk about how you choose to write, what you write, and why you write. And it was all different reasons, but we could all bounce off each other, get the help that we needed, and my craft has improved greatly. It was last April that we started, and since I finished the first draft of my novel, so yeah, benefits all round. And it's a fortnightly thing now. People say, oh, writing group again, and it's something you look forward to, because it's like a little family now. So
good.
Just want more people to come and join us.
My name is Clara. I am a young woman who has been taken from the village that I grew up in to serve as breeding stock for the army that now controls the planet and runs the world. I have been washed and cleaned and sent to the breeding houses to go on parade to be selected by one of the soldiers to hopefully sire the next generation. I have a tattoo on my wrist in which is implanted a chip. Should I try to leave the city in which I now live, the chip will destroy me. I will die. I know I have no future. If I get chosen by one of the soldiers to live as his companion when he tires of me and moves on to the next one, I will die. If I go to the breeding houses and they discover I can't have children, I will die. My future right now is bleak and is a far cry from this wonderful library that I now sit in with my fellow writing group members.
In a way, I have no favourite author to start off with, because I started reading since I was a little girl. When I was in school, play school, anything, I'd always sit in the corner, read a book, no matter what. Then my grandparents actually helped me start writing when I was 4 years old, and that started everything else for me then. But in my house, we actually got a gully house, and my father's got wall-to-wall bookcases with tons of books, and I've always wanted to get into it when I was little. That finally happened when I turned 16, and my father actually lent me his copy of David Edding's Porn Prophecy, and I read it, and literally two or three pages in, I was so excited, I bolted down the staircase to my father, like, Dad, are you doing this, they're also doing that, the characters are this, the characters are that, and I was like, slow down, what's wrong, what's happening? And I was so excited and happy. They were like, right, that Christmas, they had to find me all David Eddings books, and they did. They found the last one on Christmas Eve. So I had new laptop, clothes, horse riding gear, everything. They're like, oh, thanks, Dad. And then he came out with this big, huge box full of books. I was like, yep, took the box upstairs and I got everything else. So David Eddins, he is a fantasy fiction writer, author. Altogether, I think, remember I had about 25 books out, and he's always the same one I go back to every single time. He draws the reader in so much. He brings the characters to life, like literally you were there, you can picture them. I can just describe one character he's got, and when the character's excited, his nose twitches. And I can say, that's Silk or Prince Keldar of that book series. And I know each one, my father just comments on certain things, and it's really, really good, very well worth it.
I've written quite a number of short stories and wondered, were they any good? And what were other people writing? And so the benefits of joining a club is experiencing what other people are writing about and how that might impact upon you. And also, like this one, I enjoy the enthusiasm of it. And so I think if you are thinking of joining a club, whatever it is, it's a good idea. And I think from that has come numerous short stories that I've written. And I would advise anybody who's interested in writing, who likes writing, to join a writing club.
Okay, the writing process for me might be different to other people. I've got a memory of my mum threatening to take or call the doctor out to me when I was little. I was only about 4. I remember sitting on the bottom stairs. Back then, TV didn't start until dinner time, and it was black and white, and there was very few programs that children would like. And my mum caught me giggling to myself on the bottom stair like a crazy kid, and she was going to call the doctor to me. I didn't know how to explain it to her what I was doing, but basically I was using my imagination to bring up the cartoons that were due on in the afternoon, and I was just laughing and giggling to myself. So I've always had a really powerful imagination. When I came and joined the writing group for the first time, I didn't realise I knew Kaylee, who very kindly decided to set it up. And during the first session, we all had to read out something that we had previously written. And I had 10-15 years previously, under the very good tutelage of Claire Leakey, my English teacher, wrote a number of short stories that we had to do for an English course that I'd started. So I still had digital copies. So I read out to the class, for want of a better word, a story I wrote for my son, Jack the Cheese Eater, about a young kid who had out-of-body experiences every time he ate cheese. And at the end of it, there's a chap who's just behind me. I'm not sure if you can get him in the video. The guy with glasses there, he stood up. I thought he was part of the writing group, and he said, "That's brilliant, that's a story, that is, or even a series of books." So there and then, on that moment, I decided that I'm going to do this. I'm going to write this story, and I'll make it up as I go along at the seat of my pants, because that's how I like to write, just using my imagination. And by the end of the first year, I'd written 2 books. This young lady here, move the camera over, she turned up one day and slapped a book on the counter, and I said, "Are you published?" And she said, "Anyone can get published. It's easy. You can do it on Amazon, KDP Publishing or something." I went home that Saturday and broke all the rules, published my first book, told everyone about it, only to find out that when they all purchased the book, the font was so small, even with size 20 plus glasses, they couldn't read it. The good news was, though, once on Amazon KDP, you can go up and update your book as many times as you like. My book has changed dramatically from that first attempt by me, and I am absolutely loving the writing process. Come and join us, give it a go. It's in Porth, it's easy, fantastic welcome. Come along.